Marcus sat on the small, cold bench in his cell, the dim light casting shadows that danced across the walls, as if echoing the turmoil within him. With charcoal in hand, he began to sketch, the strokes capturing fleeting moments of longing and regret. Each entry in his diary became a window into his soul, a montage of family struggles and the weight of choices that led him here, to this medium-security prison. As he poured his thoughts onto the paper, Marcus fought against the encroaching darkness, battling the despair that threatened to consume him. Yet, amidst this chaos, he yearned for hope, a flicker of light, affirming that redemption was still possible. With each sketch, he rediscovered fragments of himself, piecing together a narrative that transcended the bars surrounding him. As he turned the page, he felt a stirring within, a hesitant promise that this journey might lead him toward a brighter dawn. Marcus often spends his days in solitude, drifting between the confines of his cell and the vibrant scenes in his mind. The thick walls that surround him may limit his physical freedom, but they cannot cage his creativity. In his diary, he describes the ritual of sketching each day, where pencil meets paper, like a dialogue in which he pours out his hopes and fears. The rhythmic sound of footsteps in the corridor echoes against his thoughts, mingling with the vibrant colors of his imagination. He captures fragments of life behind bars, flickering lights, shadows of guards, and the distant laughter of fellow inmates. Each drawing becomes a refuge, a reminder that beauty can exist even in darkness. Yet, beneath this facade, the weight of isolation gnaws at him. He yearns for connection, for someone who might understand the complexity behind his art. Little does he know, change is on the horizon. Marcus stood in the brightly lit art therapy room, a stark contrast to the shadows of his cell. The walls were adorned with vibrant paintings, each a testament to resilience and hope. As he picked up his charcoal pencil, he felt an underlying current of anticipation. That's when he first noticed Fatima, a woman whose composure exuded both strength and fragility. Over the next few sessions, they exchanged cautious glances, sharing unspoken stories of pain and regret. Encouraged by the supportive environment, they found themselves absorbed in their art, creating pieces that mirrored their tumultuous histories. Marcus sketched with a fervor he hadn't felt in years, while Fatima's brushstrokes conveyed the rawness of her emotions. Their initial hesitance faded, replaced by a burgeoning friendship. They began to confide in one another, peeling back layers of their pasts. In these moments of connection, Marcus felt the flickers of hope slowly igniting within him, a powerful reminder that redemption could be painted, one stroke at a time. Fatima's diary entry begins with the vivid memories of her former life as a teacher, a time when words flowed freely and her classroom was filled with laughter and learning. Now, surrounded by the stark walls of the prison, she grapples with an ache that stems from a moment of impulsive passion that changed everything. Each stroke of her brush becomes a pathway to express the grief she carries, as she pours her heart onto the canvas, transforming painful memories into a vibrant mosaic of color. In her reflections, Fatima shares her journey of healing, revealing the layers of regret beneath her surface. She questions whether redemption is truly possible, yet finds light in the shared experiences with Marcus, whose artistry inspires her to confront her own struggles. As their friendship deepens, Fatima discovers that the act of creation can heal wounds, both seen and unseen, binding their stories together in a tapestry of resilience. Darius picks up his guitar, the worn strings reflecting years of use and the weight of his past. As he strums the first few notes, diary entries spill forth, revealing the tumult of his life before prison, a life marred by addiction and lost opportunities. Music was his refuge, a balm for the chaos that had engulfed him. With each chord, he recalls the joy it once brought, the dreams of playing on stages, and the camaraderie of friends now lost to the streets. In these moments of solitude, he finds solace and clarity, envisioning a prison band that could breathe life into the sterile environment around him. His passion ignites a spark within him, offering hope not just for himself, but for his fellow inmates. Darius begins to share his musical dream with Marcus and Fatima, bridging their artistic worlds, eager to create something beautiful out of their shared pain and longing for freedom. Darius felt the pulse of music resonate through the prison walls, a heartbeat that ignited a spark of hope. One afternoon, he gathered Marcus and Fatima, revealing his dream of forming a prison band. "Music has always been my escape," he explained, eyes gleaming with enthusiasm. He envisioned a group that could unite inmates in a powerful expression of freedom, transcending the confines of their reality. Marcus nodded, recalling the solace he found in art, how expressions on canvas mirrored the feelings trapped inside him. Fatima, too, felt the allure of musical collaboration, understanding its potential to heal wounds deeper than any physical scar. Together they sketched out a plan, layering their ideas like melodies weaving into a harmonious song. As laughter filled the room, they recognized that art, be it through melody or paint, had the power to transform. In this shared endeavor, they began to uncover the beauty of unity and resilience amidst chaos. Officer Lang sat in the break room, the sound of clanking trays and distant conversations filling the air. Each tick of the clock echoed the weight of responsibility he carried. Reflecting on his own turbulent past, he penned his thoughts in a worn notebook, revealing the scars of his own life experiences. It wasn't just about enforcing rules. It was about seeing the humanity in each inmate behind the bars. He was determined to bridge the chasm of despair with compassion, knowing that sometimes a kind word could spark hope. When he first encountered Marcus, Fatima, and Darius during art therapy, he recognized the flicker of creativity struggling to ignite. He approached them with openness, sharing anecdotes of his own battles and the healing he found in unexpected places. As he inspired them to express their truths, he felt a shift within himself. Their stories reminded him of the transformative power of art, both in and out of prison walls. Officer Lang stepped into the common area, feeling the weight of 1,000 expectations resting on his shoulders. Unlike countless guards who adhered rigidly to rules, he believed in the power of compassion. He had once navigated the darkest corners of his own life, and understanding that path gave him insight into those he watched over. As he introduced himself to Marcus, Fatima, and Darius, Lang shared a glimpse of his own struggles, a troubled youth, a battle with addiction, and the turning point that led him to become a mentor. The inmates listened, their defensiveness slowly peeling away as they sensed sincerity in his words. They began to discuss their experiences and aspirations, an exchange free of judgment. Trust began to blossom amidst their shared vulnerabilities, hinting that perhaps change was possible. With every conversation, Lang hoped to bridge the gap between authority and understanding, envisioning a prison environment where redemption was not just an ideal, but a reality. As the group therapy sessions continue, Marcus, Fatima, Darius, and their fellow inmates settle into a circle, hearts heavy yet hopeful. Each member shares their darkest moments, their voices trembling with vulnerability. Marcus speaks of his strained family ties, the weight of guilt pressing against his chest. Fatima follows, revealing the deep sorrow of her past, a choice born of passion that shattered her world. Darius, with a raw intensity, reflects on the addiction that robbed him of his dreams. As they confront their truths, the room fills with an undeniable energy. Tears flow, but so do smiles, as shared pain transforms into a source of strength. In these cathartic exchanges, bonds solidify, weaving a tapestry of collective healing. Laughter mingles with tears, and they begin to understand not just themselves but each other, illuminating the path toward redemption that awaits them beyond these walls. As the weeks passed, each character began to embrace the transformations taking root within them. Marcus poured his soul into his sketches, revealing vibrant colors and profound emotions that previously lay dormant. His art became a mirror reflecting the growth he felt, each stroke shedding a layer of despair and revealing hope. Fatima's writing evolved too. Her diary overflowed with poetic reflections on forgiveness, not just of others, but of herself as well. Darius, once consumed by addiction, found clarity through his music, envisioning melodies that spoke of resilience and unity. The three shared moments of vulnerability, forging a bond that transcended the prison walls. During their nightly gatherings, laughter echoed through the cell block, intertwining with newfound aspirations. These experiences solidified their commitment to change, and as they prepared for the forthcoming open mic night, there was a palpable sense of anticipation that pulsed through them, a collective hope for understanding and acceptance beyond the bars. As the day of the open mic night approached, anticipation filled the prison, weaving excitement and anxiety into the air. Marcus, Fatima, and Darius gathered in the art room, each lost in thoughts about their performances. What truths would they reveal? Marcus meticulously practiced the words that flowed from his sketches, while Fatima fine-tuned her heartfelt poem, wrestling with the raw emotion that came with exposing her past. Darius, strumming his guitar, envisioned the unification of voices and dreams, echoing through the walls that had confined them for so long. Each character carried a weight of history and hope, preparing to not only share their art, but to redefine their identities in the eyes of the community. Together they felt a spark of resilience, the power of vulnerability igniting a collective strength that inspired camaraderie, urging them to embrace the possibility of acceptance and understanding outside these bars. The night of the open mic arrived, a stark contrast to the prison's usual rigid atmosphere. A palpable buzz filled the room as inmates and guards, once wary of each other, gathered to witness transformations born from pain and creativity. Marcus stepped onto the makeshift stage, his heart pounding. He drew in a deep breath, scanning the audience. Fatima's encouraging nod gave him strength. He shared a poignant piece about his journey, his voice trembling yet resolute. Next was Fatima, who used her words like brushstrokes, painting a vivid picture of loss and hope. Darius closed the night with a haunting melody that resonated deeply, uniting the crowd in shared emotion. Tears glistened in eyes that had previously judged. In that moment, walls crumbled. The raw vulnerability of their performances sparked conversations among the audience, igniting a newfound understanding of the lives behind the bars, reminding everyone that humanity transcends the confines of a prison. The night of the open mic event left an indelible mark on both the inmates and the audience. As Marcus concluded his poignant performance, the room filled with a palpable silence, followed by an eruption of applause that reverberated against the prison walls. Fatima's heartfelt spoken-word piece about the weight of her past and the promise of forgiveness struck a chord, stirring emotions in those who heard it, many wiping away tears. Darius, with his soulful melodies, brought a sense of hope that permeated the atmosphere, urging everyone to look beyond the surface of their circumstances. Outside, community members exchanged glances that conveyed newfound understanding, slowly dismantling preconceived notions of who these individuals were. Conversations about empathy and shared humanity blossomed, reminding everyone present that the lines separating them were not as rigid as once thought. It was a night where barriers crumbled and real connections formed, echoing a call for compassion and change.